Right, 11 February 2025, and today is yet another day when I give you an update. And today we're going to be looking at the quickly and rapidly developing situation in Zimbabwe. And most people are now aware of what is happening. There is an air of expectation in Zimbabwe after the events of yesterday. As I explained to you yesterday, there was going to be a confrontation between Mnangagwa supporters and Chiwenga supporters. So yesterday I mentioned that any attempt to attack Chiwenga would result in something happening, and that something was going to spill over to outside of the Heroes Acre. And you can see that yesterday they were very careful. So Mnangagwa's people were very careful. They did not want to attack Chiwenga. There was no singing against Chiwenga. Most of the singing was directed against Blessed Geza. So the attacks that happened at the National Heroes Acre yesterday were on Geza, who is the war veteran. So the singing, the women for ED, young women for ED, were singing songs against Blessed Geza and not against Chiwenga. It's clear that the Mnangagwa faction has calculated and is aware that going after Chiwenga is a very bad idea. And you could also see that there was a group that was supporting Chiwenga during the burial of the national hero, Chigudu. So yesterday's events were, as I predicted, that there will be a direct confrontation between the supporters of Chiwenga and the supporters of Mnangagwa. However, what is clear is that Mnangagwa has lost influence, has lost power. He is no longer the center of power within ZANU-PF. There is now a new center of power, which is Chiwenga. Chiwenga now has a huge following within ZANU-PF. A lot of people within the grassroots of ZANU-PF now see Chiwenga as the hope of ZANU-PF, as the person who's going to lead to the next government. So the next government is going to be formed by Chiwenga. The only question is, how is Chiwenga going to do it next? So this is very important. What are Chiwenga's next steps to get into office? How is Mnangagwa going to leave office? This is very important. And you will see within the next weeks, there's going to be a number of activities that are going to take place. Specifically, there is a demonstration that is planned by a broad base of people. So that is on the 31st. Let's see if February is the 31st. First, before we talk, because someone was talking about the 31st, but I'm anticipating that this demonstration will take place on the 1st of March. That is where this protest is going to take place. I'm awaiting a guest here who's going to come, if she's awake, to talk about the actual protest and what is being organized. But what is happening is there is a broad base of people that are now opposed to Mnangagwa. Now, I want to take you to the war veterans. The war veterans are going to play a key role in what is going to happen next. Specifically, there was a bit of misalignment between the various war veteran groups. So that is the war veterans in Bulawayo and the war veterans in Harare. There was misalignment, but that misalignment has been sorted out. If you go to my brother Zenzele Ndebele's Facebook, you will see that there is a video that has been posted there. And one of the biggest war veteran groups from Bulawayo has spoken. They've asked Mnangagwa to step down. And I'm now going to show you a portion of that video.
I just want to resonate with the comrade Geza's remarks when he came out, openly and criticized also the system to an extent that he was attacking the head of state and government. Whatever he did, he was saying it on behalf of the nation. Our expectations were that he was going to treat all Zimbabweans as his children, and he was going to treat them fairly. Now we see that he has surrounded himself with a lot of criminals. And I'm talking of criminals who have criminal records. Some have even served.
Right. So you must understand how significant this is. This is the most significant thing that has ever happened. Mnangagwa, who is a president and head of state, has now been told by all the war veterans, all the groups of war veterans, except for Mahia, that he must step down. So if you watch this video, it now has 60,000 views. Go and check out that video. We need to push it up to 500,000. So what has happened is all the war veterans, they have said Mnangagwa must step down. There is no group of war veterans that now supports Mnangagwa. And what this means is they now need to find a way of Mnangagwa living. And they need to do it with Mnangagwa willingly stepping down. He cannot be seen to be pushed or to be harmed or to be thrown out or to be made to step down. So what is left now is for ZANU-PF and the war veterans to do what happened during Mugabe's day, which is to get him to find out and agree to step down. So that is the process that is currently underway. It's behind the scenes and it's happening on a daily basis. Mnangagwa has lost power, he's lost influence, and it's just a matter of time before you see that happening. And my understanding is that once Mnangagwa steps down, there's going to be a transitional system or a transitional arrangement before Chiwenga eventually steps up and becomes the new president. And this is going to happen within the next month or so. So this is something that is ongoing. There is no way this situation can just stay like that. So you must understand that this thing is not going to be like a year of people saying Mnangagwa must step down, Mnangagwa is no longer our president, Mnangagwa is corrupt. It's not possible. So this is something imminent, something that is going to happen within a very short space of time. And those who know how to read the time, they've already read it, they understand what's going on. Mnangagwa is gone. Mnangagwa is gone. It's just a matter of making sure that the process is acceptable internationally and the process is not too violent, because there could be violence here. Both sides of Mnangagwa and Chiwenga, both sides are armed. So both of these sides are armed. And let's see how someone like Geza is going to play a part. He is providing leadership in terms of saying what should happen and when it should happen. Remember what Geza said. He said, step down now. So let me show you the video if you don't remember.
You have failed this nation. You have failed us. And you have succeeded to put your family on the fore as one of the worst, the most hated in the history of the world. You can redeem yourself by doing the right thing. Step down. Free this country from incompetence. Your lack of probity has preceded you. Ndiri kutaurira comrade, imwimwi vana vake nemudzimai taurirai baba kuti zvakwana.
Right, so very, very clear. And
it is clear.
This is unprecedented. You can never see this happening in any country where a president is openly told to step down. You cannot see this happening without the person doing it being arrested. So if you see that person who is saying those words not being arrested, especially a member of the ZANU-PF Central Committee, you can be assured that there is a whole lot of other people inside ZANU-PF who are saying the same thing. This man is just speaking out, and these guys are very brave. Knox, Chikovero, Bernard Manyaza, Epson Yenzi, Nenji. These are the first guys who came out and said Mnangagwa must step down, and they've opened the floodgates. Everyone in ZANU-PF now knows that Mnangagwa must step down. It's just a matter of time. But before that happens, before Chiwenga takes over, there are a number of things that need to happen. And I've said it to you, day one was when Chiwenga boycotted the meeting between Mnangagwa and Wicknell. So that was the first stand that Chiwenga had to take to refuse to be part of this meeting where Mnangagwa was meeting with Wicknell. So that was the first day. The second day is the day where you are going to see Mnangagwa and Chiwenga fighting each other in public. That day is not came. You are going to see Mnangagwa standing here and Chiwenga standing here, shouting at each other. Then the third day, you are going to see Chiwenga being fired by Mnangagwa. And then the fourth day, you are going to see Mnangagwa stepping down and then Chiwenga taking over. As I said, those things need to happen first before anything happens. So we're still missing one thing, which is the shouting of the two between each other. Mnangagwa must come out and say in public that Chiwenga, you did this. And then Chiwenga must come out in public and accuse Mnangagwa. When that day comes, you know that we're getting closer and closer. So at the moment, it's still the other people who are speaking and shouting. You're seeing the women for ED. You're seeing the guys who are moving around the army. So the army guys, every time the army guys stand on at the National Heroes Acre, so you see that when they're standing here, if you look at your bottom right of the screen, there is always a group standing there under this army and the army guys. That group is always chanting Chiwenga slogan. So on the other side, you're going to have that group, and then on the right, you have Tatena Mavetera and the young women for ED. Those are what we call proxies. So the army guys, they remove their uniforms and they chant, and then the young women for ED, they are representing Mnangagwa and they chant. Eventually, that is going to be the actual people coming out and representing themselves, and it's going to stop. You saw yesterday the banning of Mnangagwa t-shirts has started. So Mnangagwa t-shirts are being banned, Mnangagwa scarves are being banned, and videos are being circulated of that activity. So the end of Mnangagwa is here. The only question is, how is it going to play out? Because the two have to be separated first before one of them can take over. Especially Chiwenga. Chiwenga cannot rise from the bottom there, from the vice presidency. It's not possible, because that means it's two works from Mnangagwa. And as long as he works from Mnangagwa, he's not going to become president. He's going to be stuck in that position. And Mnangagwa is going to prolong that situation. Where Chiwenga is a vice president, he's going to keep it like that for a very, very long time. And it is up to Chiwenga to get out from under Mnangagwa. And you could see the tension between the two men yesterday. There was an extreme amount of tension between Mnangagwa and Chiwenga. And this situation cannot be allowed to continue. It's going to end very, very soon. So unfortunately, my guest seems to be sleeping. Most people like to be sleeping. Let's see what he's saying to me. Let me ask you to join. Please join. I'm live now. If you're watching me, I want my guest to join, right, so that she can explain this. Other people who are involved, because we're also missing the opposition. The opposition played a key role. If you look at the role that Esi Lumumba, Kodamsa Siwa, Nelson Chamisa, and all the other guys played, even Mogri Tsvangirai, he had to leave his bed to go to Zimbabwe. And the war veterans played a critical role. So let's see what happens now. We still don't have the opposition, because the protest can't happen without the opposition. Everyone in the country must come out, and then Mnangagwa is going to step down. And Mnangagwa is likely to lose everything. So you must understand this last part I just mentioned. If Mnangagwa delays this process, he's going to lose everything that he has in Zimbabwe. That is what is going to happen. Now, let me go through some news while I wait for my guest. If she joins, I'm going to put her here. If she doesn't, we'll do it another time. Let's look at some very important news that has taken place. And I want us to start with South Africa. So there is a lot that is happening in South Africa. Specifically, the sanctions that have been put on South Africa are starting to bite. And President Cyril Ramaphosa is very concerned about the sanctions that have been placed by President Donald Trump. So President Ramaphosa has sent or is planning to send another delegation to the United States to negotiate. And according to South African government sources, the reason why South Africa has been sanctioned, on top of the relationship with Hamas and Iran, is because they suspect that Elon Musk was not given that Starlink license. So there are people who are saying that the reason why South Africa has been sanctioned is because Elon Musk was not given the license, and he was not given the license because he refused to comply with the BEE regulations. So that is what the South African government is saying. The Democratic Alliance has sent a delegation, or is also sending a delegation. So I don't know the exact days when these people are going to go, but the DA is also sending a delegation to America, and they're heavily opposed to the expropriation law which South Africa has passed. So you must remember that these sanctions won't go away as long as the expropriation law is there, as long as the BEE law is there, and as long as the South African government is seen as a friend of Hamas and of Iran. I don't know who wants to be friends with Hamas. It makes no sense to me. And you remember what Marco Rubio said
I have no
here.
intention of going to Havana with this regime in place other than to discuss when they're going to leave. That regime is a disaster. It's destroyed the country. They're incompetent and they're evil, that regime. And they're also a threat to the United States. They've invited China to open spy bases. They invite Russia in. They're partners with Iran. They just joined a partnership with South Africa to support Hamas at the expense of Israel. That isn't a government. That is a regime that is hostile to the United States.
Right. South Africa, a regime that is hostile to the United States and its foreign policy interests. And President Trump has given Hamas up to Saturday to release all hostages, and or else, you know what it means. By Saturday 12, they must release all hostages or else. And that is the friend of South Africa. So if you are a friend of Hamas, and Hamas has been told that by Saturday they must release all hostages, you know what that means. It means you are also part of the people that have been given a warning. So a critical situation in South Africa, and many people don't understand it. You cannot fight the United States of America and win. You're going to lose, and you better be on the right side. And all the people that have been to the States, they understand what I'm talking about. The United States cannot be defeated by countries like South Africa or Iran, or those guys are going to lose, and they're on the wrong side already. They're starting from the wrong side, and it makes no sense. Now let's go to other news. South Africa has also not received the bodies of their soldiers. So the bodies are still stuck in Uganda for some reason. I don't know why the bodies of the 14 soldiers are not coming, but they're still stuck in Uganda. They are now expected on Thursday. So that is when the bodies of the South African soldiers are going to come in. If everything goes as expected, I'm displaying here the leader of the M23, that is Cornelius Nanga, over there, and representing the Banyamulenge. You can see that the Tutsis over there in the region are pushing, and they're trying to protect the people there over there in the eastern DRC. You can also go and see a video that has been shot by the representatives of the Banyamulenge who are in exile. Go and check it out. I think that was on one of the South African channels yesterday. You clearly understand that the issues at play here are big. So that is, how do you protect the people in the eastern DRC? How do you set up a negotiation between the government of the DRC, of Tshisekedi, and the rebels? A direct communication link is currently missing, and that is a non-negotiable. President Kagame, President Museveni, they will not agree to just have this situation continue. And the airport, I've seen pictures of the airport yesterday. The airport has been opened to some extent, but there's massive damage at the airport. So I'm going to show you pictures of the airport later on. That is the Goma airport later on. And I believe that there is some sort of standoff. No flights are allowed into Goma. No flights are allowed out. And it's basically where it is right now. Like the European Union said, they are back to the old status quo, where the M23 had the city of Goma and the DRC had another side. And South Africa is refusing to leave. So South Africa is refusing to leave the DRC. They've said they're not going to pull out. And Lamola has said yesterday that they're not going to pull out of the DRC. I do not know why. But as I said, if they don't pull out, the day that they're going to be forced out to pull out is if 100 South African soldiers get killed in one day. You will see they will just leave with no plan. So I don't know what is the game plan, but South Africa is refusing to pull out of the DRC. They've said they're not going to leave, in spite of all the pressure that they're getting from the local. South Africans don't want that war, but the South African government wants to stay there in the DRC. Now, let me go to a bit of business news. Let me see what's happening in business, and then we'll move away from there. What will happen to the rand? The rand is going to crash parabolically. Don't do anything to do with the rand. The rand is going to crash very, very badly. So let me tell you how a currency moves and how the banks work. So a currency moves in waves. So higher highs, or lower lows and lower lows. If you see a currency doing this, consolidating, that is called a manipulation. The banks do that so that they can dump their money. So because the rand is going to crash, the banks know that. So they are going to pretend to go up or down, and they are going to sell or buy, and they're selling their positions. So you're going to have a period, maybe a month, where the rand is going to appear to be stable, and then one day it's going to dump, and that is going to happen within the next month or two. You're going to see the rand dumping very, very badly. Maybe going to somewhere where it has never gone before, which is like 21, 22, somewhere there. And then that's the beginning of the end for the rand. So the rand is going to dump. There's no way that can be under sanctions by the United States and your currency stays stable. Your currency is going to suffer very badly, and then everything else will follow. So I hope that they take these negotiations seriously, and I hope that they reject this law. That is the expropriation law. The DA has gone to court, so let's see what happens regarding that expropriation law. But there's still the relationship with Hamas, there's still the relationship with Iran, there's still the relationship with Cuba. All those things that the South African government is doing, there's still the BEE law. President Trump is not going to reverse this. The executive order is going to stay. And the South African government is going to suffer very badly because of their decisions, their poor decisions. The South African government has chosen the wrong side. And I said it in the past, guys. You remember when they were doing that BRICS thing, I said to you that this is the worst thing that South African government has done. You cannot be with anyone who's opposite of the United States. A very, very bad decision that they've made. So the rand is going to dump, and the currency of this country is going to be the beginning. So the collapse of the currency is going to be the beginning of the collapse of the whole economy. So avoid the rand, be on the other side. Bet against the rand. You're going to win a lot. And then let's go to some announcements. Simba Makoni, the minister or former minister of finance of Zimbabwe, is not dead. And I apologize that our guys also published this story. And the person who died is the young brother, son, who's also called Simba Makoni. So that has to be clarified. There is a documentary that is going to come out on Charamba. That is Mnangagwa's spokesman. One of his relatives has made a documentary about how George Charamba abused her when she was 13 or 14 years old. George Charamba has been the spokesperson for Mnangagwa and also for Mugabe. So let's see what they say here in this documentary. What has he done, George Charamba? This man is going to suffer if he did it. So let's see what he did. And then let's go and look at some newspapers. I just want to check out some newspapers. You saw Kembo Mohadi is still on oxygen. He comes out with his mask on a daily basis. And obviously, my favorite person, looking very amazing over there, style by Mini. So style by Mini, you can dress me style by Mini and Ripano by Josa. So let's see what's happening with the Herald newspaper. Herald newspaper is the biggest circulating newspaper in Zimbabwe. They have not published, still sleeping. Very sad. I cannot believe that a newspaper with managers, editors, team makers, and even security guards is failing to publish by 5:30. That is crazy and unbelievable. Genfan, Zingavan, Basa. So Genfan must fire those guys. They are very, very lazy and indolent. Let's now go to the Chronicle newspaper. The Chronicle newspaper is leading with the story. So let's go to the front page. Here, they're leading with the story of Mnangagwa and the National Heroes Acre. So I don't know why this thing is not moving the way I want. Right there. So that is Mnangagwa handing over the national flag to Miss Esther Chigudu, the widow of Comrade Tinai Chigudu, over here. And you can go and check it out on the Chronicle website. These guys always show you all the stories. I like the Chronicle newspaper. Sunday News, the first newspaper that published me in Bulawayo. And they've also shown scores of youngsters looking for work at a new bar that is opened in Bulawayo. So a lot of joblessness happening in Bulawayo and youngsters looking for jobs. So you can go check out the story on their Facebook, on their X, and also on their Chronicle.co.zw. Then let's see if H Metro newspaper has published the TMZ of Zimbabwe. H Metro newspaper, very interesting newspaper. Also not yet published. I'm surprised that this newspaper is not published today. Normally they are very quick with the newspapers, but they're not published. So today we're going to look at Botswana newspapers. So let's look and see what's happening in Botswana. I know that President Duma Boko and the government of Botswana have been working on the monetary policy. So let's see if they've done anything yesterday. And I've also talked to some guys in Botswana who have shown me that President Duma Boko did some changes yesterday on his monetary policy. So let's see what's happening in Botswana. Today is the 11th. So the only newspaper that is published in Botswana is the Monitor. So let's go to the Monitor. If you go to the Monitor, you see that there was a 2025 budget of Botswana, and there's been an increase in the pensions. So you can go check out all the details here. And I'll put for you a summary that I've received from the Botswana government here. President, Finance Minister Ndaba Haolase announced an increase in the old pension, commonly known as Tandabala, from P830 to P1400 per month, effective from 1 April 2025. President Duma Boko, this man is amazing. 1,400 a month for a pensioner. In Zimbabwe, how much is the pensioner getting? So Botswana doing very, very well in terms of protecting the pensioners. Let's see what President Hakainde Hichilema is doing today. I like President Hakainde Hichilema because when I was in Zambia, ZANU-PF was trying to kill me. And he made sure that he put an agent on me. But let's look at, besides me, let's look at President Hakainde Hichilema. He attended the 42nd of the Outer NEPAD Heads of Government Orientation Committee, chaired by His Excellency Abdel Fattah el-Sisi of Egypt. So if you go to President Hakainde Hichilema's Facebook, you're going to see he posts there multiple times a day. President Hakainde Hichilema. Go check out one of the best presidents in Africa, President Hakainde Hichilema. Amazing. HH, as is commonly known by his people over there. And I hope to be in Zambia very, very soon. I'll let you guys know when I'm going to be in Zambia, and I'll try to see these guys. Right. Then let's go to Sekuru Vena. Sekuru Vena. Venanzi Mondlane, the man of the people of Mozambique, most loved second president of Mozambique. There are currently two presidents in Mozambique. Every day, Venanzi Mondlane gives an update. He's still in Gaza. You can see that he's still in Gaza over here, where he's carrying out a door-to-door operation. Mozambique government is burning people's houses. They are rummaging and making sure that people suffer for voting for Venancio Mondlane, but he's going over onto the ground. You can see the air of expectations. Young people all over Mozambique. The country has changed. Young people are coming out. This country is going to do very, very well under Venancio Mondlane. And as I said, if Venancio Mondlane takes over in Mozambique, I'm going to move to Mozambique and go and live in Maputo. Maputo, an amazing city with 20 kilometers of beach. So they've got land that they've developed, beachfront property, 20 kilometers that no one has used. You can imagine what you can do if it was in Zimbabwe, if it's so much beachfront property undeveloped. All they need is someone to come and put investment there. No one has done it because of the government of Frelimo who rigs elections. And then what has Mini done today? Let's see, Mini Baloyi. Mini Baloyi, why is she not appearing on my... Let's see what she's done today. Chamisa is not posted. I'm surprised that Chamisa is not posted today, because normally I expect Chamisa to post. He's also used following, and I expect him to post to his audience on a daily basis, because people want to see what Chamisa thinks on a daily basis. What is Chamisa doing? What is he up to? What is he saying to his people? He doesn't post so often, and I'm surprised because we've got so many new people online. So what has happened is, because of Starlink, we've got approximately 100,000 people on the market right now. So Mini has posted some nice pictures here. What an amazing dress. So style by Mini over here. As I said, Mini hit me up with a sponsorship. Ndinenge my t-shirts akadai Adidas neku Nike. Toda kupfeka my t-shirt eshumba. What is that animal there? That animal, what does it do? If you see most videos, that animal, Jigangwena, iyo, behind her. Very powerful pictures. I like it. And yesterday she was running. Go check it out. I didn't know that she runs. In English, kama baby ano manya, aka Simba. Okay, guys, I think I've covered all the current news. Now let's go to community. We want to start with the two projects that we've got, Victoria Falls and also Harare. So I'll be coming every evening to update on those projects. So I'm no longer updating those on the mornings, because we're going to do again what we normally do on promoting. I'll come here every evening to talk to you guys about the project. So if you want the bank details over here, don't expect me to beg you. Please, I'm doing my best. 1,000 people pay 1,000. We get 1 million. We go to the banks. We go to companies. We've got sponsors and people who are already investors. And I want to help to make sure that someone has a 3-bedroom house. 1,000 people, 3-bedroom house, and also ownership in the business. So don't expect me to keep begging or to say, please come and do it. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. And you'll see what happens in 10 years. You're going to look back and say, those other people did it. Don't miss out on these opportunities. Then Mvee, we've got pickup points in Harare, in Bulawayo, in Johannesburg, Cape Town, Kariba, Victoria Falls. Order your Mvee. We've got a special now. 1 packet. You get 1 packet for your wife, free. That is UK and Harare. And then ginger and honey in Bulawayo. I'm going to launch a special, Ikapiam Dara, in South Africa. So you're going to get your cups over here. We're all going to get something. And my business model is I'm going to give back to the people who buy as much as possible. And then, as I said, if you already filled the form in Victoria Falls, don't fill again. We need you to deposit so that we can open our physical office. We need to open our physical office. And we're also going to open a physical office in Harare. So that is what it is. Now let's look at the comments. Mini is the trained soldier. Yes, when she's running, she scares me. Mini. mabhebhi akasimba anotyisa. And then anogara judo. I wish I could send a voice note to help you pronounce VP of Botswana. VP of Botswana. What is the VP of Botswana? Please send me the voice note. Gabakwe, don't understand the current geopolitical and economics in the new world order that has shifted greatly from a unipolar to a multipolar world. Join me one day here and let's talk about America. Guys, I was in the United States in November. The last time I was in the United States was in 2010. America is huge. It's a giant. And all the other countries are small. They're nothing. Okay, let me say it again. All the other small countries are tiny, tiny little countries. If America can crush Canada, if America can crush Mexico, what about South Africa with a tiny little economy like this? Don't play with those guys. Mukoma Gambakwe, musateerera vanhu vakapiwa mumafoni kuti varakashe vese. No, mukoma parai kurakashwa is good. You're saying 10 days will be removed. Yes, removal is not like we take you and put you there. Removing a president takes time. Where do you get this? Unonyeba, he talks of 2030 instead of working now, second term. Yes. One thing you must see, Mnangagwa is going to move his family first. So let me tell you what's going to happen. Mnangagwa is going to move his family very soon. You're going to see that you won't see his kids within a short space of time. Before the end of this month, Mnangagwa is going to move his whole family out of Zimbabwe. This man is gone. Mnangagwa is gone. If they fail to remove Mnangagwa now, so let's say Chiwenga, for some reason, fails to remove Mnangagwa and the war veterans, they are all going to be killed. That is clear. So do you think they're stupid to be killed, to allow themselves to be killed? Do you think Geza is stupid to allow himself to be killed? Do you think Chiwenga is stupid to allow himself to be killed? Do you think all these guys in the military are going to allow themselves to be killed by someone? So what is happening now is not a joke. We are at a critical moment and you're going to see a lot happening. Everyone has taken a position. And when you take a position, you must be willing to defend that position. And that is what is going to happen. You're going to see a lot happening within the next month. And there are people behind the scenes that you don't know. I was telling people yesterday that don't underestimate the Zimbabwe National Army. The people you see at the front, they're just a few like this. There is a whole system behind the scenes. And when the system tells you you must go, you will go. And that is it. That is the way it is. When the system tells you your time is up, your time is up. That is the way it is. And no matter what you do, they'll make sure that you're gone. So Geza is not alone, and Chiwenga is not alone, and Mnangagwa better listen to the voice of reason. If it doesn't go, if Wikno just sticks around in Zimbabwe, if I was Wikno, I would be packing my bags right now. Because Wikno is going to be made an example. You're going to see it. People like Wikno, they won't be able to live in Zimbabwe. And that mansion, you're going to see people entering it one day. Like a bunch of people just entering Wikno's mansion, sleeping on his bed, sleeping on his sofas. Those things are going to happen. And you'll be like right here, I say, Gabagwe said, people are going to enter the mansion of Wikno, mansion Yashiwuri. Right, I think I've said enough. 39 minutes of speaking. I'm starting to speak longer. And Makandiwa. Who has seen Makandiwa? I haven't watched Makandiwa this week. Please go and watch Makandiwa, Sunday sermons. When we criticize you, we're trying to make you a better YouTuber. Don't be, I know it all person. Yes, Mkoma, Peter, I agree. I don't know everything. I appreciate your corrections. But when I'm sitting here, imagine if I sat here and I said, I think, what do you guys think? That'll take me like 2 hours. So ndropa uti ga. Ngapedza, just like you must do. Ukatora mvee wako, wotora msaladi wako, ga. Atidi munhu anoti anodzana. Anodzana. Munhu rara akaisa muswe pakati pemakumbo atidi tinoda munhu akasimba. So take your Mvee 1 liter engine turns into 3 liter engine, one kickstart, and you don't have to crank it. And also, if you don't have a house, what kind of a man are you? There is no man in Zimbabwe who is homeless. Even the old people in our past, there's only one thing that doesn't exist in Zimbabwe. That's homelessness. Even, I do not know, the poorest person in Zimbabwe has a home. So don't be that person who doesn't have a home. Don't live in the United States, in UK, in South Africa, and you've got nowhere to arrive when you get to Harare. Join other people, and building a house is not expensive. It's very cheap. Land is cheap in Zimbabwe. The cheapest land is found in Zimbabwe. So let's make it work, and let's make it do well. Okay, Ngoma Stanley Chauke, you are starting a controversial topic. I think as a government must tell people the truth about the bodies of fallen soldiers. Yes, I agree. Mkoma Chauke, I agree. You've got a point. And I'm sorry that people don't get what you're saying, but they'll get it. They'll get it. Right. According to you, every country must listen to America because they have everything. Yes. If you've never been to America, you don't understand. So listen to me very carefully. America contains almost 100% of everything. What do I mean? I mean, everything that you know is conceptualized and thought of in America. There is a system. The problem with our people is we can't build a system. Mnangagwa, ever since he gets to office, he has destroyed every system. Road system, education system, financial system, military system, everything is gone. Same thing in South Africa. When South Africa started off, it had systems. And slowly, the systems are collapsing. So you know what they end up doing? They end up going to gimmicks. So the governments of our region, they go into gimmicks. And then they have to borrow things from America. That is why you see America was providing food, ARVs, everything you can think of. Children's money here in South Africa and in Zimbabwe. The country of America can do things in all the countries, including their own country. That is why when they say we're signing an executive order to withdraw aid, you complain because you're a basket case. You know what a basket case is? It means you cannot do anything by yourself. You're helpless. You need help to breathe. That is what we as Africans are doing. Mugoma Dizeze, I thank you for what you said just now. I'm not going to repeat it. I don't want to hurt the families. Please look at the comment on the screen right now. You're going to see what he said. That is half of the truth. What he just said now. This happened in Zimbabwe during the DRC war. What he just said now. So look at what he said. I'm not going to repeat it. It has happened, or it is likely that it has happened. Once you take on the Gaza's people's removal, President Trump is right. Remove those guys from there. Put a canal over there. That is what I want to do. I'll go and leave them myself and work on the canal. Apparently what they want to do, they want to dig a canal so thick, like 20 kilometers, so that you can cross from this side and you have to go, the people on this side stay on this side, the people on this side stay on this side. So that's a topic for another day, guys. Let's focus on Mnangagwa. Mnangagwa is going to go. Mnangagwa Arkuraivan Nenzara. Remember what I said with his zig and his crazy ideas and Auxilia here. What is she worried? That is Auxilia Mnangagwa. Auxilia, go and get styled by meaning. That would be crazy. Like, imagine if she was wearing style by meaning, she would look great. But ndakazitaura kuti hapana mukadzi anoenda kufuneral asina kupfeka hat. Hazvigoni. That's not allowed to go pafuneral usina kupfeka hat. You need to wear your hat if you're going to a funeral. It's traditional. So any African woman who goes to a funeral must cover her head. It's allowed. So this month end, I'm going to do a special maduku. I'm going to give you guys maduku mumpe madzimai enyu kuti kana uchienda kufuneral vapfeke maduku anoti kuti taridza misoro yavo. Right, I'd like to thank all of you for watching. It has been great. It's been amazing. 45 minutes of talking to you. Our country going through one of the biggest changes we've ever seen. I have seen these changes when they happen. One day you're going to wake up and everything is going to be different. And we're going to have to start again in New Zimbabwe. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching.